Right. So I think I mean like I cannot I mean like probably I mean maybe I can understand I mean the Mahakari way in the on way. How going to pay the thing now? So C sharp variables, right? We need to have variable to store the values, and it can be integer, double, float, char, right? Likewise that. So normally, when we are to declare the variables, so variable can have alphabets, digits, and underscore, right? Alphabet, in terms of digits, I mean that it's like infinite. But underscore variable name can have alphabets, digits, and underscore. Remember, like example capital one. So variable name. Name can start with the alphabet and underscore only. It cannot start with the digit. No white space is allowed within the variable name. Right? White space again, it has a variable name with some student ID. So you are saying into the variable in student ID. එහෙම එකක්. මෙතන space එකක් තියෙනවනේ that is not allowed, right? A variable name must not be any reserved keyword in keyword like char, plot, like that. There are some keywords like variable names, path names. So it cannot be that kind of thing. And make sure C sharp is case sensitive, right? That means cases. I mean, like let's assume like we have all the characters simple, and we have the first letter capital, right? So all the letters capital. Identifiers are treated as different. That means like if you at least get one letter, so that means the program will not work. Right? That's the thing. And naming convention, right? කොහොමද variable එක variable අපි නම් කරන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ development environment. Camel case. The first letter of the word is always a small letter, and after that each word is started with the capital letter. Right? In the case of camel case, the first letter of the word always is a small letter. Again, a simple letter. Then after each word, again, it's with a capital letter. Right? It is a student ID. Student ID variable start with the simple student. So this is the second word ID capital. Right? So in the case of Pascal case, the first letter of the first word should be capital, right? So first letter of every word is capital letter. Pascal case, like this example, you can see here this word is capital and every word its letter is capital, right? So that's the thing. So there's a naming convention. How to do that? Yeah. So we are working with object-oriented programming using C sharp. C sharp, we have something known as class. Class forthcoming class name is start with the Pascal class. Let's say if it is a student class, or student management system having C sharp for it, class name student start with the capital S like this. This is capital. Pascal case. Constructor. So you don't have to worry about constructor. So class can have a one constructor. It should be Pascal case. I will explain that later. Method deca. Even in C programming, I think C can functions, right? They can functions the subroutines again. Because I'm not familiar with C programming. C will be method and functions subroutine. function, right? We here call it a function eකට මෙතෙන්දි කියන්නේ C sharp වලදී method එකක් කියලා, and method name should be, let's say if it is a student can learn, right? And method name should be Pascal public void. So this is the method, right? So I will explain this public in a later, I mean like in a forthcoming week. Method argument, camel case, variable, camel case, variable like a camel case. Again, the first letter always should be a simple word. Constant. So we are going to learn about constant later. Constant එකක් කියන්නේ there is a type of variable that holds the same value throughout the entire program execution. That constant එකේ value එක change නැහැ, right? I will take that later, but remember in terms of naming convention, you have to follow the Pascal case, right? So data types specify the type of data that a variable can store, right? We have integer, ekata purna sankhya. We have floating, I mean like floating values. Ekane dashama sthana ekka. We have characters. Characters are characters. Just a one single character. මේ කියන්නේ එක වචනයක්, character එක. And if it is a name, let's say Namor. So this is a combination of characters. We call it a string. මේකට කියන්නේ string එකක් කියලා, right? මේ නමට, so it's a string. So we have the string type variables to hold that values, right? Data types. So you don't have to memorize the entire thing in the table, but thank you. So we have, I mean like in order to store the smallest value, we have the byte, right? It is not a common one. Byte එක කියන එක අපි අත්‍තරම use කරන programming වලදී we have the char and we have the bool. I mean like sorry, the bool means I mean like it's the Boolean values, true or false value, 1 or 0. වචනයක් කියනවනේ true or false value. The data type is bool, and we have the SPY short to integers. I mean like pure short, integer, UID, float, double, decimal, long. That means like we have several like short, long, integer. Likewise, that we have I mean like several I mean like data types to the integer values. ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ. It depends on the range. ඒ කියන්නේ පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යා කොච්චර range එකක් ඊටත් integer වල I can only store like up to 100,000. Even I mean like long data type user you can store up to I mean like maybe like 10 billion, 1 billion, likewise that the length and the variable storage on the memory of the computer. සාමාන්‍ය long එකකට integer එකකට වඩා වැඩි value එකක් යනවා. Integer storage capacity එක long වලට storage 8 bytes, likewise that. Don't try to I mean like memorize the things in the whatever the table. Just I mean like follow I mean like normally අපි use කරන්නේ මෙතෙන්දී definitely we are using the boolean I mean like variable type, integer, float, decimal. These are the common ones, right? That's the thing. Just don't try to memorize these things also. Just the range of values that you can store. Right. So this gives a more idea about that. I'm not going to explain that. But remember, every data type they have to have a default value. Every data type they do have a default value. Short I mean like short, integer, long, byte. So I mean like they are to store the integer values, right? So the default value always should be 0. පූර්ණ සංඛ්‍යාවක් නම් default value එක 0. So just remember that thing. If it is a floating point value, දශම ස්ථානයක් එක්ක තියෙනවා නම් default value is 0.0, right? In the case of double and decimal, it's the same. So why this default value is important? Let's say you have a computer program. A computer program, okay, you have declared a variable, integer variable again. And inside the main method is the method that actually executes when the program executes. So I will explain that later. මේ variable එක ඔයා print කරනවා. Right? Something like print A. So without assigning any value, මේ variable එකට value එකක් assign කරන්න නැතිව. So at that moment, the default value with the value that is printed, the value එකක් assign කරන method print වෙන්නේ 0 කියලා. Right? That's the thing. That's why the default values. You need to remember that thing. Constant. They can be සරලව කියනවා නම් it's for the near term. Right? So how do you declare the constant in C sharp? You have to use the keyword called CONST. Constant, whatever the data type and constant name. Constant, if it is an integer, variable name like I'm going to say something kind of bar. Or I can say in a followed by the camel case A, B like that, right? And the value. So that's the thing. That is how do you declare a constant. So you can see I have initially declared some integer A, right? Dot B. So that means like A multiplied by 2.5. That means like around 5.0, right? Because floating point that will can hold up to the decimal part. And the string type variable. I told you string variable again it can hold the combination of characters. Right? Let's say if it is now something like that. So followed by like in between these two words, I have a space also. All these can be characters can be held by this particular string type variable. String S1 can variable name if it is a constant. Variable namata kali constant keyword use karanna, so you guys can use this variable, right? That's the thing. Any questions up to here? Mama example because I'm going to do the example next, right? Any questions up to this point? Right. So C sharp operator. So when it comes to operators is symbol that tells the compiler to perform specific mathematical or logical manipulations, right? Arithmetic, and relational. If you are comparing something less than or greater than, you are comparing something. That's why we need to have relational operators. Logical operators like and or kind of things I will explain, and the assignment operators if we are assigning some value, right? So we need to have these operators, right? These are the example. If we want to have two operands can single honestly numbers දෙකක් තියෙනවා. We call it as operands, and in order to add that we need to have this operator. We call these two numbers operands, right? Plus for addition, that deduction signs, for subtraction, adu karanna, and multiplication for multiplication, division, and this percentage sign. Percentage sign divide the number with another and return the remainder. We call it the C sharp. So yeah, so percentage like that symbol we call it the remainder. Assume like it divides a number with another and returns the remainder. So if you divide the 10 with 4, what is the remainder? 2, right? It gives the remainder. And plus, you can force increment, that particular operator increases the integer value by 1, right? So let's see, I'm going to say integer, variable declare karno, integer A equal to 6, right? This is the semicolon, and I'm going to say A plus plus, and I'm going to print this A. What is the value of A? 7, right? So increase the integer value by 1. And if it is like a minus minus, decrease the integer value by 1. So you can place this plus plus over here, even can do it here, right? Right, so let's see the example. So I just want to open a new project here. So I'm going to go file, new project. So for that, I need to open a console application, but it should be something like, so this. So here you can see, so you can see here, my application, there's a symbol. Here we have something like C sharp. Method C sharp sign. Here we have JS JavaScript extension, like, and here we have VB. You can VB.NET. So you guys need to, I mean, like, in order to demonstrate, and if you want to work with the console application.NET framework and make a description like a project for creating a command line application, right? That's the one you need to select. There are many options of project that you can create. Hit the next button. I'm recording this, right? Yes, console application. I'm going to say IAT test one. The previous one, I give the option as save. So, hurry. And if you open the console application, you will be coming to this kind of a application window, right? So if you guys are following me, I can explain one more time. So go to the whatever the new project, open a new project console application, but it should says .NET .NET console application, and you will be redirected into this kind of application once you give the name, right? So right. So now I'm going to declare an integer variable, right? So I'm just saying integer variable type int results. So this is how you declare a variable. Variable like a C sharp for the declare karanne, the variable type and the whatever the name, and you have to follow the camel case naming convention, and it ends with the semicolon, right? Semicolon again right? And I'm going to declare another two variables, integer a equal, but I'm assigning the some value 10. Right. So I just have two variables and one variable without assigning a value. So what I'm going to do is, so I just want to perform some operation. Results. So in order to display something onto the console, I have the console dot write line. I'm going to say results, then console dot. Right. I just made a simple console application. Right. C sharp. Right. So here I just declare a variable, right? Variable, right? But I haven't assigned any value, right? Here I declare two variables, integer A, integer B. The higher second values assign kara. Then what I'm going to do is a variable and getting the result into this variable. So the console dot write line. So we are making a console application, right? C one function this is a console application, not even a Windows desktop application. So whenever you want to print something on that black screen, so you have to console dot write line, result in a variable like a evaluator, right? And black once the black screen opens, I mean like if you want to close that, there's another function that you need to call console.readline. Application close. That's why I have. Normally, if you want to print something into the console, you have this console.writeline, right? So on the top, you have start. So you can see the build output here. And it is giving me something like 30. And it is waiting for my input. That means right, reading the line. And if I enter, press any key to close. So it's closing, right? So that is the normal form of C# console application. So this is the syntax for that, right? Any question? Do you have any questions with regard to this? Right, so මේ example එක ඔයාලගේ slide එකේ දීලා තියෙන presentation එකෙත් so yeah this is it. So here මම හිතන විදිහට මේක හැමෝටම පේනවා. So you can see මේ එකම දේ මම වෙනස් කර කරලා තියෙන්නේ එකතු කරලා subtraction, multiplication, division and this is the remainder. That means like 20 10න් බෙදුවාම ඒක 2යි, no remainder, that means 0, right? That's all. So you guys can further check. So I'm only doing the addition only, right? So this is something relational operators. Compare two operands and then return a Boolean result. Boolean can take a given, I mean not add the output. It is giving me here whether it is true or false, right? This is the equal sign. One make a explain equal sign, right? Not equal, less than, greater than, less than, no equal, greater than, no equal, right? So this is how it is happens. So these are called relational operators. Compare two operands, right? If I write like this, and assign the value to the bool type variable. Bool variable again number A. Right? So assume what will be the result of the Boolean type A variable. So assume these are the two operands. Make a variable, make a whole parameter, but here I'm just saying like the main expression make a method the number. What is the what will become the A? So the result will be true. And if it is not equal means, so that means this A become A value become false error, right? So less than, greater than, likewise, there are some relational operators. So yeah, we have the example over here. So I'm gonna showcase now. So this value should be a Boolean value. So bool results. So the same previous example, මම මෙතන change කරන්න මේ value එක because it is giving me as the output Boolean values, right? Bool. So it should be a relational operator. So I'm gonna say explain the example that I have written. I have a Boolean type variables and I have two integer types variables, right? They go in the back. Right. So you have a Boolean variable, right? So you have two integer variables. They Boolean variable they get assigned करना methoding के लिए मैं from this relation and using this relation operators. वराहन नतीना मागे कि I'm comparing these two integer types variable. So I can use any relational operator, right? So this is equal sign. So probably 10 is not equal to 20, and my console it should give false, right? That's the thing. After that, we need the active, right? Make it. Right. So I'm gonna change this relational operator to not equal sign. Make a balagan. So probably I mean like MCQ right? So I'm gonna give you some code in the MCQ paper. So you have to write what is the output, right? So the expression this should be true, not equal no. So let's work with other things also. So once you change this operate like greater than the so here it says A value 10. So A is greater than B. So A value, but A value is A value is 10, B value is actually 20. So the statement, it is actually false. Right? And equal sign. So greater than or equal. And I'm going to change this to maybe like 21. So this is probably giving me true. And if I change it to 20 means, A value 20 means, it is also true, right? So the same as this example, we have the other, I mean like other side. Main method, right? So we can have less than, no, equal to, right? So that means like whenever you have two operands and if you want to compare this operand value, so you can use these relational operators The first one is starting with the equal, not equal, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? These are the relational operators that you have to familiarize with. Logical operators. Logical operators compares a Boolean expression and return a Boolean result. Compares a Boolean expression and return a Boolean result. And this is called the and logical operator. So, and this is called the OR, right? This is called the not taken logical negation. So, I don't remember, I mean, like, ඔගලට මේ question එකක් කරාද? ඔව් කොහෙද හරි ඉවල syllabus එකේ තැනක තියෙනවද? සියෝ තිබ්බද? Right? Yeah, ICT කට්ටියට, I mean, like ICT students, they have even in every programming language that they are working on, and learning when they learning about operating system, they have to learn about this Boolean operators, right? So this is how you represent this logical AND operator. ඒක පටන් ගන්න ampersand sign දෙකකින්, right? Logical OR operator එක මේ keyboard එකේ ඇති මොකද්ද? ඒකට මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? මෙන්න මේ this kind of two signs, right? I mean, like, I don't remember the English word hash එකක් නෙමෙයි. මට මතක නැහැ honestly. Forward slash එකක්වත් නෙමෙයි. So this kind of two straight lines will be there. So let's go the logical OR operator, and this one is called exclamation. විශ්මයාර්ථ ලකුණ කියන මට මතක විදිහට it's called the logical not operator. Performs logical negation, right? Make a so it's a Boolean expression, right? So the example, so I'm just gonna comment this thing. මතක තියාගන්න, when you if you want to comment something in C#, you have this is forward slash. Yeah, make a forward slash and when this is two forward slash or either forward slash with asterisk mark, and if it is a statement, you have to edit with this thing. So if you want to comment this particular statement, comment එකක් කියන මොකක්ද කියලා මම හිතනවා දන්නේ නැති කියලා. So you have to use these two forward slashes. එතකොට ඒක comment වෙනවා. Or otherwise, if you want to comment all at once, මේ statement තුනම එකපාර comment කරන්න ඕන forward slash asterisk mark, then like this. You have to do like that, right? So that is how you gonna comment. So Right. So in terms of the logical and operators. Right. So yeah, logical and operator එකේදී නම් I was I have this table මට මතක විදිහට I don't remember it symbol logical and operator එකේදී වෙන්නේ so 0 1 0 1 0 0 0 that means like this is the what we were comparing truth table එකේදී මෙතන වෙන්න ඕන so b 0 0 0 no it's become 1 1 logical and operator and if it want to be true input දෙකම logical and operator එකේ true වෙන්න ඕන එතකොට තමයි and operator එකේ output එක true වෙන්න ඕන right so here in this example and logical operator එකේදී එකක් හරි true වුණොත් that becomes true that is the output of logical true operator right and when it's come to the negation or not operator what happens is if you pass something like true from the output it will give you true එකක් pass කරන false එකක් right that's the logical and not operator so here in this equal to b so here in this example I have two integer types variable and a boolean variable right so මෙන්න මේක තමයි මගේ expression දෙක so I have two expression that I am comparing with this particular with logical and operator right a less than to b right it's not true right a කොහොමද less than වෙන්නේ නැහැ a value is 2 b value is 2 and a equal to b this is true right ඒක true වෙන්න ඕන but here you have the this 2 ampersand that means logical and operator so one become false the first statement it become false the second statement it is true that means the final output it should be false right so yeah that's the case of logical and operator and if you put මෙතෙන්ට ඒ වෙනුවට දැම්මනම් right this logical or operator this becomes true right that's the scenario when it's come to the logical and logical whatever the logical operators right so the more comprehensive example I have highlighted on my slides so you guys can follow that so any questions up to here any questions up to here assignment operators so assign value to the left side of operator left side take care of head right take care of head so if you have a assignment operator that means you are assigning value to the this particular left operand right but there's a special case plus equal as the right operand to the left operand and assign the result to the left operand right so so I'm gonna comment this example. I'm comment this one. So this is a special case, right? So within the when assignment operators, මොකක් හරි value එකක් assign කරනකොට you have to use this equal sign. Value එකක් assign කරන්න ඕන. Let's say integer a, you want to assign 20. This is the way. Within the when the program එක execute කරනකොට this value will be operand from right to left. මේ variable එකට value එක assignment right to left විතර තමයි program execution time එකේදී. And if you add plus mark over here, plus equal like that kind of scenario, at the right operand, the left operand, and assign the result to the left operand back, right? When make the expression like a syntax, like a variable expression, right? So here you have given an example: integer x samana 10, integer y samana 3. So the final output of the x will be 30. එතකොට වෙන්නේ ඔය expression එක ලොකු මේව කළා x plus මෙහෙමද තියෙන්නේ මේ expression එකෙන් වෙන්නේ x වල sorry y වල value එක add the y value to the x value and again add the total value to the x, right? X plus y a variable එකට මේක කරනවා, right? So you can see so this become 50, right? That's the thing. So the same as previous example, you guys can check when you have the subtraction, multiplication and division side, what will happen, right? I'm not going to demonstrate that thing. So whatever the thing that happens is, let's say if you have x, we will have division like this y, then it becomes x equal x divided by y. When the value will take, right? May value get to r external එකතු වෙනවා, right? So that is the scenario. Right. Any questions up to this point? Any questions up to this point? So definitely will this week I will upload the recording, so you guys can check the recording also. Yeah. And the one I have just finished, I will upload that in Sharp file as the LMS as well. So, do you guys have any questions? Right, so you guys have any questions, or next week I will start from the operator presenter. So please remember, when the make a so probably I mean like there will be at least more than one MCQ coming in your MCQ final MCQ paper, right? So assignment operator and this scenario, you guys get, I mean like I haven't demonstrated all these things, but you guys can on your console check and see the result, what is actually happening. So thank you for coming, and guys, so if you don't have any question, I will wind up the session. And next week I'll be doing the lectures on Wednesday only, right? So yeah. Thank you so much.